Let's press our feet into the floor, whether you're seated on the chair or standing. If you are seated on the chair, scooch forward a little bit so that, you're not like slumping down into the back of the chair, okay? So you're engaging the tall posture muscles. Let's go ahead and just kind of shrug those shoulders up and down. And that starts to move that lymphatic fluid in our body. Again, you're going at your own speed. It may be a lot slower than I. It may be a lot higher or lower, depending what's going on with you and your shoulders today. And let's do 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. Very good. Roll those shoulders up and back, palms forward. This is called mountain pose or Tadasana. And palms out to the side, feet firm into the floor. Let's breathe in through the nose. Let the belly expand outwards as you do that. Chest expands also, so breathe in, belly out. Then we pause for a moment and then exhale. Draw the belly button towards the spine. Again, breathe in, belly out. Don't lock the knees. And exhale. Now feel your feet into the floor on this next breath. So press down and away. Here we go. Breathe in, belly out. And one more time. Exhale. Very good. From here, we're going to bend the knees and shake the arms. It's called shaking gong. Again, this is part of our warm-up that we do. It's also part of what we do in chair Tai Chi. And then we're going to bring the arms skyward. Again, do what you can with what you got. This is part of the 8 brocade. We're here at the center. Now let's turn to the side. Keep bouncing those knees as best you can. Back to the center. Over to the other side. Back to the center. Let's bring the arms into a letter T. That's good for that carpal tunnel. It's good for if you're doing a lot of stuff with typing on your iDevices or your smart devices. And then do palms up. Great for, again, carpal tunnel, mousing. Feels kind of weird with palms up though, yeah? And then from here, let's swing the arms. And so I kind of match my arm swing with my knee bend. So I'm lubricating those knee joints, those hip joints with this little bit of movement. Yeah, we're doing our elbows and the shoulders too. Now if you can, tap the shoulders. So again, it kind of takes on a different little cadence there with the bending knees when you're tapping the shoulders and swinging the arms. I love it. Let's do 3 more. 3, 2, and I'm going at my pace, and 1. Very good. Now, I'm going to move away from the wall, kind of close to the wall. We're going to do alternate arms forward and back. I'm bending those knees. Now, if you got arms on the chair, just be very mindful as you're not going to hit your arms on the arms of the chair, okay? And again, your range of motion may be totally different from what mine is. Now, if you're standing, we're going to do a different arm swing. If you're seated, stay and do this one, but the other standing one is bring an arm out to the side, forward, and switch. So this is a little bit of mental thing here. This one's not as easy to do seated in a chair. So just, continue with the forwards and backwards arm swing. Let's do 1 more each side. And then arms down. And just kind of let them swing. From here, interlace the fingers and push them away. Now, if you can, up towards the sky, whatever that means for you. Bring them back to the front. Now, curve your spine to the back of the room, kind of like a standing or seated cat posture. And then bring the arms down. Let's do that again. Interlace the hands. Push the interlaced hands in front of your chest. Then sky high, whatever your sky high means. Bring it back to the center. Curve your spine. Curve, 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 curve. Beautiful. And release. From here, we're going to do a step touch and wave the arms. Again, you're away from the back of the chair when you do this. So step touch, wave the arms. If you need to hang on to the chair while you do that, that's perfectly fine. Just know that, okay? And maybe you switch the arms if you're hanging onto the chair. Very good. One more. Very good. Bring it back to the center. Just basically marching in place. Whether you're seated, whether you're standing. and you're noticing, how are the hips doing? Do you feel weakness one side versus the other, or pain one side versus the other? So things to notice, okay? And then come back to a nice firm stance, whether you're seated, whether you're standing. Let's do that Qigong spinal cord breathing. So again, cupped hands, kind of like we did when we did the arm swings. We're going to inhale, elbows up, chest to the front of the room, and your eyes are looking where the wall meets the ceiling. And then exhale, curve the spine, kind of drop your chin or your forehead towards your fists. And again, inhale, up, 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 up. Get some air into those lungs. Exhale, curve it down. Now we're going to turn it to the side this time. So inhale, out to the side, elbows up. Ooh, I can feel that opening up. Exhale, back to the center. Let's do the other side. Inhale, elbows up, up, up. Beautiful. Exhale, back to the center. Let's inhale, circle, sweep arms up. And then exhale, float those arms down. Beautiful. From here, we're going to do the Qigong Big Six Detox. We do this in our yoga class. We do this in the chair Tai Chi. Now my feet are a little bit wider now. And I'm going to move my hair out of the way and just kind of rub across the collarbone. So my fingers are above and below that collarbone, or you can tap across. So it's tapping, it's not whapping, okay? So it's nice and soft. So this is the area where the lymphatic fluids return into our circulatory system. We pee it out, we poop it out, we sweat it out. Let's do the other side. So 70% of it goes through the left side. So this is very important. You go from high pressure to low pressure. So this is your low pressure point right here at the collarbone. Subclavial, well, there's a big old technical name for it. Again, you can tap, tap, tap. Next area, so this is called the Big Six. So this is area number one. Area number two is to take your hands, spread them out, and go in front and back of your ear. You can go down the neckline to begin with, and then you kind of turn it to, under the jawline, the face. Now also the fingers are reaching back here at the back of the head, that cervical spine. So it's all very good to kind of like reach back and stroke down. You can also alternatively tap, tap, tap. Some folks will like stroke a couple of times and then tap, tap, tap. A lot of folks like to do both sides at the same time, but I don't like to do that because I don't want to be messing with my cartoid on both sides. So I'm going to switch over to the other side. And again, I'm going down the side of the neck, back behind the ear, in front of the ear, and down the jawline. And then, I'm kind of reaching back behind there on that occiput, that bony part at the bottom of the skull, where the head inserts into the spine. Again, we're kind of flushing our lymphatic toilets here. And this is a great thing to do daily because, we get rid of cellular waste in our brain. And the way to do that is to ensure that we've got things kind of moving through. Now we're going to do like kind of a little right angle with the hand and go into the armpits. You can just squeeze up and then make sure that thumb is squeezing also the pectorals. Or, you can give it a little circular movement, or if you like, you can slap or tap it. But I make sure I'm also stimulating that pectoral muscle. Woo. You should have a pit and not a puff. If you have a puff, that's an indication of inflammation. Let's take it over to the other side. So here we go. Again, that little right angle to begin with to kind of go, okay, what are we doing? This is the first, way to do this. But, some people are like digging for gold, going in there checking to see, did they have their deodorant on? That's your sneaky way to kind of check that out, okay? Okay, I know I'm being a little silly there. Just notice, is it tender? Something to think about if it is. Very good. Next, so when I'm seated on the chair, when I do that, I kind of step my feet forward a little bit because I got to kind of wear my ribs. I got a lot of belly stuff here. So I got to find my ribs. There they are. And then I stroke right underneath. So that's where the diaphragm kind of sits up underneath the rib cage. So if you, feel like you have constricted breathing, try to rub on this diaphragm. See if that'll lessen that kind of tight feeling in your breathing in and out. Then just take your hand. You can do open hand. You can make fists. You can just kind of jiggle up and down, whatever you need to do here. But you kind of get the entire abdominal area, but be sure to get kind of like the belt line, the waistline too, okay? Gut issues. guess what? A lot of lymphatic nests in this area that has to deal with gut issues. And I'm going to kind of stretch up here, get right there in that diaphragm again, go all the way down. Very good. Now you step the feet wide, whether you're seated or whether you're standing, and where that leg inserts into the torso, that's called the quad. And we're going to, in the inguinal crease, we're going to slap the quad. Now you could just not rub, but I like to chop. So you kind of pick your poison. Do I want to rub? Do I want to chop? So the armpits, the inguinal crease. When you have cancer, breast cancer, prostate cancer, they check these areas to see, did the cancer move to these areas? So let's flush it out. Shall we? We shall. All right, and step it in. So I'm going to clap the hands right here. I'm going to do it again. Get some heat going on here in the hands. I'm kind of shaking my legs right now too. Then I'm going to take that heat onto my knees. If you prefer to do this part seated, that's fine. And then I'm going to make little finger pat claws and get those acupressure points. And to lessen knee pain, we can do the tap, tap, tap on the side of the knees. We can also do it on the inside of the knees. Then I'm going to take that little right angle again, kind of go in the back of the knee bend. So it's the bottom of the hamstring, top of the calf. Or you can actually go and slap a little bit here. Come up, breathe in, circle sweep arms up. Exhale. All right, so shake the legs. Shake and shake and shake. Shake legs to avoid leg cramps. And then let's just throw a little temper tantrum. So stomp those feet. It's more effective when you're on the chair. It's like, yeah. And then again, march in place. You can hang on to the wall, hang on to the chair. You can do this next part seated or standing next to the wall or chair. Lift a foot up and let's do ankle rotation. Let's rotate it in first. Ooh. Maybe some little snap, crackle pops going on here. And again, go at your own perfect pace. And let's reverse, go the other way. Ooh, I feel stiff. And now let's point and flex. That's considered your second heart, pumping that calf, returning blood flow from the lower extremities back to the heart. It's a good thing. It's also a blood glucose lowering technique. So just kind of know that because that's a big major muscle group in our body. Let's do the other one. Ooh, see, I'm going to use the other chair. So we're going to do the circle inward on this side or the other leg. Ooh. I'm feeling stuff on the top of the foot right around that ankle on this particular foot. So these warm-up sequences are designed to promote relaxation, flexibility, and overall well-being. So let's rotate out now. Ooh, this one doesn't want to rotate as easily outward. So I do notice that for me, that's really, really stiff, especially on the outside of the ankle. And let's point and flex. Notice how this feels compared to the first side. Very good. And then shake it up. Okay, so we're going to do a little test here. So the test is whether you're seated, whether you're standing, you're going to come away again from the back of the chair if you're doing this seated. And I'm going to kind of turn at an angle to the chair that's here today. And I'm bending both knees. And of course, you know, this is different seated on the chair. And I'm going to take my behind and roll it in, tucking it in. And then I'm going to come up on the ball of the foot, the outside foot, bend the elbow up, and then lift that knee, point that toe down. And then maybe I'm pressing hard down on the chair or I'm really hanging on for balance. Noticing what's going on with your hip complex. Is there some challenge there? If you're seated here, maybe a hand underneath and release the hand. See how that feels for your body and release. So again, you're kind of making some mental things here. What's going on with that? Okay, let's compare it to the other. Now you can walk over to the other side of the chair if you only have one chair, or walk over to the other chair because we got to do the other side. So again, bend both knees. So we're sinking down and we're tucking in. And you're going to come up on the ball of the foot, bend the elbow first, and then draw the belly button towards the spine. Lift that foot up, point that toe down. Ooh, I'm wiggly on this side. And I'm feeling like some challenge here for me on this side. So I know that this is my weaker side. Woo. Look, I'm shaking here with my chair. And release. So did you notice differences one side versus the other? If not, that's okay, all right? But just kind of like, left side for me is kind of like a challenge, yeah? Okay, so now we're going to do the strengthening movements. So I'm going to move a chair to the center and get my gear. So get your gear, your block, your strap, your strap. I'm not requiring you to have 2 straps, but I'm just giving y'all options, okay? And let me move the other chair out of the way. And you know what? I'm looking at the camera. I need to scoot my chair back so you can see my feet, yeah? But I don't want to get too close to the wall. This is all very technical. Okay. Find your chair, find your strap, and actually, let's do the block first. What else could you use instead of a block? You could use a squishy ball or a basketball or soccer ball, something that's not going to be really kind of goosey. In other words, a lot of give. But I'm going to take the medium width here in between the legs. Then I'm going to heel toe my feet in. You know what? I'm going to scoot back a little bit more so I can, for those of you that are doing the video, you can see my feet. Okay. Well, see, now I've got a blue block and gray pants. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. I guess you can. Next time I'll use a purple block. All right, so I'm heel toeing in, and I'm feeling that inner thigh sensation. That's one word for it. And again, some of us, they have some spicy hip things going on. You may be feeling it more on your spicy side, your weaker side maybe, than the other. Or maybe it's equally spicy. I don't know. One thing I like to do, if I'm feeling spice in a yoga posture, I will try to listen to my breath going in through my nose and out through my nose as I am in the posture so I can stay in the posture. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you do need to back off a little bit. And again, it's okay. We're trying to build this up. So if you have a yoga block at home, this could be one of your homework assignments. It's a variation of clam posture in Pilates and in yoga. So it's strengthening the hip musculature. And release that squeeze, yay. It's like, I'm going to talk forever and y'all are going to hold that block. Yes, you are. Let's do that again. So again, get that block positioned and heel toe in some more. So you just kind of naturally are squeezing. Now maybe you're placing the hands back behind you, have a poofy chest, and squeeze, like really squeeze, like squeeze. Now back off just a little bit and then re-squeeze. Woo. Back off a little bit and re-squeeze. Let's do 3 more. Back off and re-squeeze. 2 more. Back off, squeeze. And last one, back off and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And did I say squeeze? I meant squeeze. Squeeze and release. Yay, that's over. Or is it? Next, grab your strap. Now, you can do the strap a couple ways. You could actually thread it into the buckle and then step into the loop. Sometimes that's kind of complicated unless you already have it set up. Or, depending how long your strap is, you can just thread it underneath and do a shoelace tie. Does that make sense to folks? Like how you would tie a shoelace? I hope it does. And then I'm going to walk my feet in a little bit. It needs to be like, I don't know, where your feet are like no more than 2 fist distances apart. That is so hard to say. Fist distance. Fist distance. Okay. Or you can use the loop on your strap also. Here's the hard part. I need a third hand to hold this. I'm going to do bunny loops. I do mine with bunny loops. I don't know what y'all do. And I take my top loop over on top. Y'all probably tie your shoelace knots a little different. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm going to assume, and you know what that means, okay, that y'all are in your strap, or maybe you've got the TheraBand and you're doing the same thing. You've tied the shoelace bow, yeah. All right, so I'm I'm going to take my feet and walk them out as much as I can. Now, if you've got the TheraBand, it's going to be a little bit more give, okay? So really kind of choke up on your tying of your knot. So you might be feeling this on the outside of the legs, yes? Okay. To make it even more special, press into the floor. Oh my. So that's like, hello. A little bit more spice going on there. So I'm pressing into the floor, yeah? Now, press into the floor, and then, you know, this is my thing. We hate wrinkles, of course. There's a wrinkle on the ground. The only way to get rid of it is to press down and away. So press down and away. Hello, hips. You can add on to that if you want. Take the hands to the inner thighs, press the legs away. Some more. Breathe. So I'm laughing because I want the good drugs in my brain, okay? I want that little endorphin rush going on. So it's not so spicy in my body. When my voice goes up, it's spicy, okay? But I know I need this. I need this, okay? Because I like going up and down these stairs without pain. The way I do that is to strengthen this complex. All right, and release. Woo! Man, that was good, or that was bad. So as we age, we tend to lose muscle in our behind. So we need muscle in our behind to effectively lower down to the toilet and get off without hanging onto the wall, hanging onto the bar, pushing on our thighs. I'm guilty of that. I'll hang onto the counter. I'm thinking, oh, wait, no. I need to try to do this independently as best I can. And the lowering without plopping, yeah? All right, so we're pressing down on the floor. Here's level 1. Press down to the floor, and you're pressing to the outsides of the strap. And then, whoo, smoothing out the wrinkle. Press down and away. Some more. Add onto it, hands to the inner thighs. Press them away. Okay, don't forget to breathe. Did you forget to press into the floor? So sometimes when I'm pressing my arms, I let go of my feet. Redo it. Repress into the floor. Smooth out that wrinkle. And I'm feeling it here in my shoulders because I'm really like trying to pull them apart. Woo! Breathe in, breathe out. Listen to the breath as it goes in through the nose and out through the nose. Beautiful. Release that. Yay. Undo your strap. Undo your TheraBand. Wow. Okay. I don't know if we'll use this again. You know what? Yeah, let's do that one more. Let's do one more. Let's do foot strap along the bottom of the foot. And I'm going to take it out to the side because I'm looking here in the camera. And we're going to do the bone building while we're here. Okay, so we're going to pull into the strap. And then I'm going to bend my knee and then push the strap away. So I'm feeling this in my hands, in my behind a little bit because I'm sitting here weird. And my forearms, and then I'm going to really kind of bring my arms into the side of the body so I get an upper body back activation when I'm doing this, and my toes towards the sky. Hello, calf. If you need to bend the knee, do that just a little bit, and then you're going to feel it in other places, so, you know, it's a bonus. So when we stimulate these big muscle groups and hold the contraction, that stimulates bone growth. So yay, bone building, and getting into that hip socket, also the leg out to the side. This is called big toe hold with a yoga strap. It's one of the 12 yoga postures for building bone. I was in the study with Dr. Lauren Fishman out of New York City, where we held these postures active. We just weren't like here. We were like pulling and pushing so we could stimulate the big muscles, stimulate the bones. And release. Woo! Now, one of the things is, we're going to do the other side. When we are in the posture, so I have to talk for about 30 seconds so that we get that bone building benefit. So you get to hear me talk. So here we go. We're going to pull, bend that knee, push it away. Woo! What about this side? So again, you think about, okay, how does this feel on this side? Does it feel different in the hip, in the low back, in the calf, back of the knee, front of the leg, bottom of the foot? Do your toes spread out? Because they're, you know, sometimes when we put our feet in a certain position, the ligaments in our feet have our toes do weird things, yes? And if that hasn't happened to you, well, okay, that's fine. It happens to me. And again, always keeping everything between the easy and ouch. If this is like, don't like it. And if you're thinking, man, my hands are hurting, bring them up the strap, wrap the wrist around the strap, and re-engage. Again, have a tall, poofy chest. In other words, you're not rounded when you're doing this. Well, maybe you are, but let's try to have tall, tall, tall posture. Woo! I hope y'all are feeling this like I'm feeling this. I'm feeling it in my elbow pits, my forearms, my hands, most definitely. This helps you build grip strength, by the way. Upper arms, upper back, yeah, because I'm really trying to bring those arms hugging into the side of my body. So I'm pulling and pushing. So yay. Yay is probably not the word for it. And release. Yay. Okay, yay. That's over. Woo! You know what? We got to bring circulation back into these kind of like hands, right? So clap the hands. Oh my God. Let's do making cookie dough. So let's squish the cookie dough. Okay. So you're creating a lot of heat in those palms, and then move it into the fingers. Ooh, that's so nice for those of us that have arthritis in the hands. Maybe you're rubbing slower. That works too. Very good. Woo. All right. Now we're going to do sumo stomp. So again, you're going to be noticing stuff going on with that hip musculature. But first, let's just take a hand underneath the knee pit, slide it out to the side and in. This is called the air pose. You're thinking, why is this called the air pose? You'll see in just a second. So imagine you've got a golf ball or a child's soccer ball on the floor. And of course, you don't want to kick it across the room. You're going to hop over it. So you're bringing your knee up and down. So there's not a stomp here yet. The stomp part is called the sumo stomp. And again, depends if you have a neuroma or plantar fasciitis or something else going on with your foot. Maybe you don't want to stomp, and that's okay. But if you want to stomp, then stomp. Now, can you do this without the hand underneath? Is your range of motion the same? So mine's not, mine's less. But I like to have the hand underneath because I kind of go into an area that's maybe a little challenging, and I get that range of motion, lubricating that hip joint. Oh, yeah. This is all about stuff to help us to walk better. Let's do 2 more. And 1 more. Very good. Stomp the feet. Okay. Sit up tall. And let's do the other one. We're going to slide out to the side and back in. Now I've got carpet here, so it feels kind of funky to the bottoms of my feet. You know, I had to scoot over a little bit. Very good. Okay. I'm making these little angel paths on my carpet here. Angel wings. Baby angel wings. Okay, there's the golf ball. I better hop over it, okay? Ooh. So what you're going to go and do is like, ooh, how does this one feel compared to the first side? Is it the same? Maybe. Did you notice? Maybe not. Is it spicy? Maybe. Or is it less spicy? Notice what you notice. So this is the getting in and out of the car movement, the functional movement. And if you want to add that stomp, add the stomp. Every time I teach this class and I do this part, my husband's going, what are you doing up there? I'm stomping. I'm doing the sumo stomp. This is just like the favorite part of our class, right? 1 more. All right, and there we go. Whoop, shake the legs. Stomp the feet. And let's sit back in our chair. Yay, we finally get to sit back in our chair. Well, it's not yay because we're going to do the knee strengtheners. You know there's always something going on, right? So lift the leg up, and maybe you have to lift it to make it feel more comfortable on your chair. Toes towards you, heel flexed away. Woo! Lower and hover, and then point the toes and release. Again, strengthening all this business around the knee. Other side, here we go. Flex that heel, and again, I have to lift my leg to begin with. And then lower. Ooh, snap, crackle, pop going on there. Point the toe and release. Other side, here we go. Flex it. If you want to flex the hand too, because I'm always like doing the hand also. And lower. And then point the toes. Point the fingers if you want to. And release. Because you know what the foot does, the arm wants to do. Here we go. Flex the foot like a little stop sign. And lower. Woo. And then point the toe and lower. 1 more set each side. So here we go. I'm going to do both hands. So flex the foot. And lower. And point those toes, maybe the fingers. And lower. Other side. Last one. Flex those fingers or wrists and foot, maybe. And lower. And point those toes and fingers, those phalanges. There you go. And lower. Beautiful. Come away from the back of the chair. Clap your hands. Rub some heat. Let's rub the shins, the calves, the legs. So here we go. If you're allowed to hinge forward, if this feels comfortable in your body, you can hinge forward or just, do the legs, okay? That works too. Underneath the other one. Very good. So I'm coming away from the back of the chair. My knees are a little bit wide. We've already kind of done a standing cat-cow, but we're going to do it again. So hands on the legs, and we're going to breathe in, belly expand. So breathe in, belly big. Hang on to those legs. Curve your spine to the back of the chair. So you need to be away from the back of the chair to make this happen. Again, keep it between the easy and ouch. Now slowly come back up to tall posture. This might be spicy, yeah? And then we're going to hinge forward. So from the belly to the top of the head, you're hinging the whole body forward. Let me just show this sideways. So I'm trying to keep the ear aligned with the top of the shoulder. I'm not looking up. I'm not looking down, okay? So getting, everything nice in line. This kind of is from our back yoga class where we get this from. From here, belly soft, breathe in. Come back to tall seated mountain. As best as your tall is today, okay? Now, again, breathe in, belly big. And exhale, curve to the back of the room. Now again, I try to have my eyes looking straight forward, my nose looking straight forward. Stay here. Breathe in, belly big. Now slowly come out of that pelvic tilt to a tall mountain. Very good. One more time. Breathe in, belly big. Exhale, hinge forward. This is the last one. Yay. And then inhale, stay here. Exhale to nice tall mountain posture. Very good. Looking at our list of things, we've kind of done a whole bunch of stuff. We need to do some of our standing stuff first, but you know what? First, let's go ahead and stomp those feet. Heels up and down, calf pumps, and then knees out and in. Rotate that hip joint, oil that hip joint in and out, in and out. Do the hands too if you want to. Kind of feels kind of fun. And then release. Now, here's the standing part. Let's move our gear out of the way. And I'm going to move that to the side. I'm going to bring both the chairs into the scene. Let me move this out of the way here. Again, you can use your chair. You can use your wall. You can use your walker. And let me move the other one in. This is where I stand back behind the chair. Here we go. I always forget what we're doing here. This is our sciatica soother, okay? So we did a little bit of the sciatica soother earlier by doing the point and flex. So that flosses that nerve that goes all the way up through the spine, yeah? And we did the other side, so point and flex. So I'm just, let's do a short little point and flex here. Point and flex, point and flex. And again, if you didn't get to join me with the other foot, let's do the other foot, point and flex. So this is a leg and arm stretch. Also help us to balance, get ready for walking. So here we go. So standing back behind the chair, and I like to demonstrate this sideways, but y'all don't have to be sideways. You can, be how you need to be and still look at the camera. And we're going to step a foot back, and I'm going to lay down on the heel. Now this other foot, I have to, for me, kind of hop it towards the back of the chair because I stepped too far away from the back of the chair. So this is also like a variation of Warrior One. From here, we're going to bend the knee that's closest to the back of the chair. And you might be feeling some stuff going on in that front part of the leg, the quadricep, the side of the behind, the hip flexors, and maybe a little bit going on here. To add on to this is called a little back bend. You raise it, whatever leg you step back, same side arm up, back heel firm into the floor. You might be feeling some stuff going on in your behind, in your side hip, in your quadricep, your hamstring, calf, bottom of the foot. Bend that back knee, step it to the back of the chair. Let's switch sides. So step the other foot back, just a short little distance. Lay down on that heel. Then the other knee, the other foot that's closest to the chair, I'm going to hop it forward a little bit. Bend that knee to the back of the chair. So, you're feeling maybe a sensation going on the other side. When you're ready, if you can, same side arm goes up. Woo! Again, there's a back bend here when you raise the arm up. A little soft back bend, but a back bend nevertheless. And the heart rate usually kicks up on back bends. Bring the hand down, take that back foot, step it forward. Let's step the other one back. Okay, we go to the original distance, and let's go back some more. So go back some more. And then I'm going to lay down on that back heel. Ooh, I'm way far away from the chair. Now, sometimes we get feeling wiggly here. You might have to take that forward foot, heel toe it out to the side to have a wider base of stance here, okay? That's okay. Foot closest to the chair, bend the knee, and we try to not lean out and forward, okay? We try to have the shoulder over the hip. That's going to already introduce that element of stretching this hip complex. And again, if you want to, bend elbow or straight arm, hang onto the chair, or do both arms, or hang onto the wall. Look, I'm hanging onto the wall. It looks like I'm hanging onto the air though, doesn't it? Yeah, okay. Hand on the chair. And then hand down, take that back foot, step it forward. Let's do the other side. So step it back some more. Okay, here we go. And then we're going to bend the knee closest to the chair. Ooh, so this side is talking to me today. And again, you can do a bent elbow, you can do a straight arm, you can do two. If you need to take that front wag, heel toe it out for a wider stance, please do so. Make it feel safe, okay? Always safe. Oh, did the wrong arm. Yeah. Woo! Are y'all feeling this a little bit? Nod your head yes or no. Okay, I see y'all. All right, okay. So take that back foot, hand down, back foot, step it forward. Yay. Okay. You know what? Shake the legs. Lose that muscle memory. And let's go back. We're going to go back to the original distance back. Do y'all remember which one that was? I'm going to take, I know I'm goofy, right? Now, so it's not as far back, basically. And again, I'm going to hop that foot forward. So basically, we're going to take that back foot, lift the heel, and then take that behind, roll it under. So tucking it under. So you're going to really feel some strength movement going on here with that bent knee. Same side. Arm goes up. I am shaking on this one. Woo! I don't know about y'all, but I'm kind of feeling this posture. Your little sciatica soother right here. And then release. Yay, releasing. Step it forward. Step the other one back. Yay or nay. Lift that back heel. All right. And then think about tucking that tailbone under. Oh my. Lift the same side arm up as the leg, knee bent or back foot. They'll fit the step back. Oh, goodness, goodness, goodness. Are you shaking too? Yes, no? Yes, thumbs up? Okay, I'm seeing some people going, quit asking questions. I hope y'all are breathing. Bring the foot down, bring the arm down. All right, and step it back. Whew. Now, let's bring the chair facing y'all now. Let's see what's on our menu. So that was kind of interesting, yes? Mm-hmm. So next is going to be the swings, okay? So again, I'm going to move this chair out of the way. I don't know why I bring the second chair in. We don't use it until we do the walking back and forward. So I got to think about that, right? So I'm bringing my chair to the center here. All right. So I'm away from the back of the chair. I'm away from the wall. And basically this is out and in. So you can do this at the kitchen counter. You have your hands on the kitchen counter, maybe at the sink where you have a little grip thing. You just bring a leg out and in. You got to be really tall in your body. Kind of notice how this feels if there's like opposite body business going on. Let's do two more. 2 and 1. Okay. Let's do the other side. I'm kind of walking in between to release the tension that's building up and then get firm into the floor. Then we're going to do the other side. So here we go. Be tall, lengthy, tall up towards the sky. Don't hunker down is what I like to say. Woo. Do as many as you comfortably can. Let's do 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. And shake a little bit. Now we're going to do the psoas strengthening. And this is 8 to 10 times, 6 to 8 times, 4 to 6 times, whatever you can manage. So with that one, we have the heel out, toe in. We bring it out and across. We keep the foot in the same position. You're going to feel a buildup of that going on in your body. So I step away from my chair a little bit because I don't want to hit my toes on the chair. So I've got my heel out, toes in. You can do this with your shoes or barefoot. Either way is okay. Bring it out and across. Ooh. Let's do 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. I don't know if that was pleasant or not, but it's doing something, okay? Other one, heel out, toe in, okay? Heel out, toe in, and bring it out and across. Oh my. 3, 2, and 1. Shake those legs, stomp those feet, march a little bit in place. This next one, again, lubricating that hip ball sockets joint. And so it's going to be toes out, and once it comes across, toe in. So that's kind of where you're getting the lubrication of that hip joint. We're going to do that with the foot. Easy to do with the hand, not so easy with the foot. So I'm going to start swinging out first with my toe pointing out. Toe out, toe in. Toe out, toe in. Out, woo, in. Out, in. Let's do 2 more. Out, in. Last one, out, in. I don't know about you, and march a little bit. That one seems easier to me than the first one we did, where we had the foot static. Interesting. Other side. Again, toe out, heel to the center. So we bring it out and across. Here we go. Out, toe in. Out, toe in. Again, don't hit the chair. I'm always hitting the chair. 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. Yay. March in place. Okay, I'm going to go over to one side of the chair. We're going to do that golden rooster, which is I'm pointed towards the corner of the chair. I'm hiking up my pants, bending both knees, rolling my tailbone under, bend the elbow, belly button tight on the ball of the foot. Maybe that's all I do, or maybe I can lift and point my toe down. So I'm noticing, how does this feel now? Does it feel tired? It might feel tired because we've been working this little beast out. And release. Woo! Over to the other side. Toes towards the corners, bend the knees, roll my booty under, come up on the ball of the foot, bend the elbow, belly button tight, lift that leg, point the toe down. Oh, it feels easier on this side. Oh my gosh, okay. Compared to the other side, definitely. Woo! Well, I'm still wiggling though. And release. Very good. Now, okay. This is where we use 2 chairs, or the wall and the chair. And it's called Balance the Pearl. And so I'm going to stand over here by one of the chairs. And I'm trying to think how this goes. So, okay. So the leg that's on the outside, that's the one we're going to come up on the ball of the foot. I had to think here. It's like opposite arm and leg. You can either hang on to the chair with one hand or both hands on the shoulder and lift the outside leg up. Now I'm going to use the chair to begin with, and then maybe I can, I'm hanging onto the chair. Very good. Whoa, my pearl is not balancing. And release. You feel that buildup going on? Maybe so. So I'm going to walk over to the other one, or walk to the other side of the other chair. The outside leg coming up on the ball of the foot, and I'm bending the standing knee. And then I'm going to take my hands over to the opposite side. Well, I'm going to hang onto the chair first and then lift my foot. Then I'm going to try to bring the other hand as if I'm hanging onto the pearl. I think I'm doing the stepping stone pearl. My foot is like doing the yoga dance. It's like, yeah, and release. Feel that buildup going on. Let's do 1 more each side. Again, this is called Balance the Pearl in our chair Tai Chi class. Bend both knees, kind of roll, tuck under. Come up on the ball of the foot of the outside leg. We don't do the same side arm. It's going over to the opposite. So lift the knee maybe first, and then bring the hands, maybe, maybe not, over to the opposite. I can't do it. And my foot's doing this business, yeah? And release. Last time, walk over to the other side of the chair or the other chair. Bend both knees. Roll that tailbone under. Okay, outside foot, come up on the ball of the foot. Maybe you can go ahead and lift that leg, and then maybe you can bring a hand, and maybe 2 hands, or the wall, in my case. Look, I'm hanging onto the wall. Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. And release. You know what? Take the leg closest to the chair and just kind of swing that leg back and forth. Kind of release that built up tension. And let's do the other one. Swing the other leg. Woo. Very good. And let's turn our chairs sideways. We're going to do the walking backwards and forwards. So that's, again, one of your homework pieces. Is to find some place in your house you can hang on to where you can walk forwards and backwards with your eyes, not looking down at the floor, Okay. So we're going to do heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, and then take the forward leg, step it back. Toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel. Oop, I hit the wall there. Take the furthest back leg, bring it forward, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, forward foot, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel. Now, switch the feet. Sound effects are optional. Take that back foot, bring it forward, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. It feels weird doing the other one, okay? And then take the forward leg, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel. I don't have much real estate to do this, so, I do what I can. Back leg comes forward. Here we go. Heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. And then toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel. Very good. Next is our other homework assignment, sit to stand. If you're new to the class, you find 2 chairs. You put the chair up against the wall and the other chair in front of you. So this is a measurement of, in the breast cancer study I was in, they had us do how many sit to stands can you do in 30 seconds. So at that time in my age group, if I could do 14, then that meant I had a only 30% chance of falling later in life. But when I got my numbers lower than that, then it crept up to 50% or 70%. And if I can only do like 2 in 30 seconds, man, that's bad news, okay? How do you build your strength up? You do sit to stand. So I'm going to sit down. Notice how you sit down. Do you hang on to something to sit down? Well, you probably do in normal life, but if we're trying to build strength, we're doing this, we're going to try to do it without hanging on. Oh, I got a squeaky chair. My heels are towards the back of my chair. The typical way to do this is hands on the shoulders, and I'm going to move that chair forward because I don't want to lean forward and hit my nose on the chair. So you stand to sit. And you're going, did you grunt when you did that? And what about when you came down? I know it's there, but I'm looking, okay? Coming on down. So what you're trying to think of is the nastiest toilet at the state fair. And you're going to want to hover. You're not going to want to make contact, okay? So we're building up those muscles to hover. Also to encourage us to have our independence. So this is our independence pose. Oof. Now, again, if you're at home and you're going, man, I'm wobbly. It's okay to hang on to the chair to do this, okay? In fact, that's what you do to build up your strength. Hang on to the chair up and down. And then, you can do where you're kind of tapping or not. Yeah? Your heart rate's going to go up on this, okay? Woo. And some of us that have pelvic prolapse are probably going, oh my gosh, I got to squeeze everything when I come up and down, yeah? Let's do 85 more. Yeah. No. Not 85. One more. And come on down. All right, I'm going to come up to the front of the room. Your heart rate's probably up a little bit, I would think. Just a little bit. So I invite you to get a little bit more comfortable. Maybe this is the time to settle back into the chair, get on that couch, get on the floor, you get comfortable, okay? And, noticing the heart rate. We're going to do that, what's called the elongated breath. What I mean by that is we'll breathe in, I'll clap to a count of 4. We pause, and then we'll exhale to a count of 5, if you're able, okay? So some folks, this is a new thing. And this is one of the things you can do to lower your blood pressure, lower your heart rate. So you're in the doctor's office, and they're yakking at you, right? When they're trying to take your blood pressure, I said, hey, let me be quiet. Let's be quiet so I can, help with my blood pressure. Well, here we go. We're going to breathe in, count of 4. Pausing, and then slowly. So we're trying to drag out that exhale. Again, breathe in. Slowly, slowly exhale. Let's do that 2 more times. Here we go. Breathe in. Slowly exhale. One more time. Here we go. Breathe in. Slowly, slowly exhale. Now you may have noticed, maybe, I hope, that maybe your heart rate's down a little bit. Again, sit to stand is definitely a cardio movement because, again, you're using these huge muscle groups, right? So always be cautious, be kind to your body. Don't do more than you need to, but maybe a little challenge, yeah? So again, your homework is squeeze the block or press to the outside of that strap. It's walking backwards and forwards, and then this sit to stand. So, every other day, every day, make a routine. All right. So I'm going to come up a little bit more close and I'm going to read to you this little short Yoga Nidra practice. All you have to do is listen to my voice and eyes closed, eyes open, well, however, and get comfortable. So as you're ready, come into a comfortable position. If you're here seated in a chair, maybe, you're going to wiggle your shoulders a little bit. Maybe you're going to cross at the ankles, rest the hands softly in your lap. Again, whatever it is to make yourself feel a little bit more comfortable. And once you're there, once you arrive there to that comfortable place, just take a few deep breaths here. And I'm making that noisy breath again, breathing in. And just set a few moments just to be. So as I said at the beginning of class, let's bring to your mind an intention or a theme to your practice today. So I shared with you that mine is, I am pain-free because I have chronic pain. So that's my positive present moment statement. And maybe yours is something like, I'm calm, I'm peaceful. Other ones I hear are, I am stress-free. Something that resonates with you, something that's true to you. Maybe it's the one I use, I am pain-free. Something you're looking to gain from this practice today. And once you have set that theme, that intention, what you'll do is say it in your brain 3 times silently to yourself. So I'll pause here for about 10 seconds. So here we go. Good. And now we'll do just a short little body scan here. So allow yourself to take a nice deep breath. And we'll start to bring awareness to our physical body. So let's let your awareness travel to the top of your head. Just notice the top of your head, allowing any places in your body as we're traveling through them to relax, release, let go with each exhale. So breathe in, let go. From the top of your head, scan your body all the way down to the tips of the toes. Notice your neck, your shoulders, your torso, your arms, hands and fingers. Notice your hips, your legs, your feet and toes. Taking in a deep breath and letting it out as you relax, release your whole body. Very good. And then let's allow some awareness to our breath. Allow the breath to get a little bit longer on the inhale and a little bit longer on the exhale. Notice the quality of your breath. Notice the places of your body that are moving as you breathe in and that are moving as you exhale. Letting that feeling of relaxation, releasing come over you. Big breath in, big breath out. Now, let's shift our attention to some sensations in the body. So let's allow ourselves to feel very heavy as a rock, like you could sink into the chair, into the floor. The arms and legs are heavy. The head is heavy. The whole body heavy. Now, sense your body being as light as a feather. The arms are light, the legs are light, the head is light, the whole body light, as if you were floating up towards the sky. Effortlessness, weightlessness, light. Once again, let's bring some awareness to sensations. So our body touching the chair, our feet touching the floor. Notice those physical sensations in those places of the body that are touching what supports. The chair underneath you. Maybe notice the fluids in our body. Notice that they flow calm and easy like a lazy river, like that fire that burns inside of you like a little pilot light. Maybe notice the breathing flowing freely in and out through the nose. And then once again, I invite you to repeat that intention, that theme, 3 times mentally, silently to yourself. And I'll pause here for 10 seconds for you to repeat that 3 times. Here we go. Very good. And then allow yourself a nice deep breath in through the nose and maybe out through the mouth. Let's do that again. Breathing in through the nose, nice and slow, and out through the mouth. Let's bring some sensation back into the body. Let's wiggle those fingers, wiggle those toes, maybe some wrist circles, maybe some heels up and down. Come scooching away from the back of the chair. Let's have the knees be wide. And let's do some wide shoulder circles. So kind of get into the lower part of the body with our upper part of the body. You may notice some spiciness one side versus the other. Maybe you want to hang out in that area a little bit and then continue on your circular path, or in my case, an oval path. And pause. Let's go the other direction. It might feel different. Ooh. Very good. So we worked strengthening the lower body musculature, range of motion, flexibility, and then come back. Let's curve to the back of the chair for that seated cat, wide knees. And come up to a tall seated place gently, and then come forward. We warmed up those muscles with the warm-up, our joints also. Come back to a tall seated place. Let's drop an ear towards the shoulder, and then lift the chin where the wall meets the ceiling. Now take that chin towards your chest and towards the other side, and then back to the center. Now let's take the other ear, drop it towards the shoulder. Ooh. And then lift the chin to where the wall meets the ceiling. And then from here, drop it towards your chest and then towards that opposite side. And then back to the center. Very good. Shrug the shoulders up. Make it look funny and funky. And then back behind you and release it down. Beautiful. Now we're going to do our traditional sayings to end our class. So you can have hands together or hands at heart center. But what I want to do right now is invite you to think about something that you're grateful for, or maybe an idea of gratitude. Maybe the gratitude is just you showing up today, and that works too. But in doing that, let's drop the chin towards the chest, kind of bringing an internal gaze down to our heart center, and then bring whatever you're grateful for into that heart center. Just contemplate, think just for a moment. Again, an idea of gratitude or something you're grateful for today. Again, inviting you to see if you can find some place that feels like something of gratitude. And from that place, I silently invite you to acknowledge to yourself just one thing, again, in your life that you are grateful for today. And you can keep your chin towards your chest or gaze forward with your eyes as I end our class today. So the light in me honors and respects the light in you. So let's take the peace, the strength, and the understanding, and that little attitude of gratitude, and let's pass it on. Namaste, which means the bright light in me honors and respects the bright light in you. This concludes our practice of chair yoga for fall prevention. I will now stop the recording, and then I'll